Is another light good? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry we're a bit late. We did have some tech issues on the very first live stream before this one as well. So welcome to the replay viewers and those here in the room waiting so patiently for us to join you. I'm Angela McMillan. I'm the founder of the Movement Online Academy and the festival host. Currently keeping track of 3 international time zones while running on coffee and sheer passion for somatics, which is the reason why we're here today on Moshe's birthday for those in the USA. So I'm still celebrating as May 6, even though it's May 7 for me today, Dorothy.
I'm glad you are. We want to keep celebrating.
Yes. So before I get to Dorothy, I want to share with you what we have inside the Movement Online Academy if you haven't joined us yet. In this space, we have an opportunity to have conversations with each other on this discussions thread here in the conversation and events. Right here, you can share what's on your mind, and daily I've been posting questions about the panel discussions we've been having and, of course, the live lessons. All the 3 panels we've had recently over the past 2 days are here now, ready for you to watch the replay, as well as we still have Dr. Susan Hillier's opening keynote, What is Neuroplasticity, from last year, still available. So hop inside. Let me get to introduce this wonderful human that's here joining me on this stage today. Have you tried it all? And you hope to feel good, but all the things you love is still out of reach? Dorothy Henning will show you hope is not far away. Dorothy melds movement, mindfulness, and neuroscience with a healthy dose of radical self-kindness to fire up your potential for a better life, even after injury or illness. As a Feldenkrais and Havening Techniques practitioner, with a BS in Psychology of Sports Education from France, Dorothy is a leading expert in her field. Bringing over 25 years of experiences, she pursues the latest advances in neuromuscular movement and plasticity to help you unleash your own superhero. Dorothy sure gets where she's going too. She swam across the Golden Gate in San Francisco. Says the traffic on the bridge that day was bad. Keep an eye out for Dorothy in her yellow SpongeBob car and follow along on her superhero adventures. Welcome, Dorothy. I'm so excited to get on the floor with you, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now.
Thank you, Angela. I'm so glad that you're going to do that. Sometimes people do like to glance up a little bit and see what's happening, and that can then just help you. So thank you, Angela, for following along with us today. So the lesson today, I don't know if you were able to indulge in the lesson before, but with Sonja, but I would like to carry on a little bit this idea of posture and how we can begin in standing. And I think you'll also enjoy this lesson in a stand-alone way. So please have with you something really folded flat that you could put under your head so that if you lie on your side, that you're comfortable on your side. And then, of course, you make it, a towel works really well. You can make it a little thinner for when you're on your back. And that can just help keep your spine more in alignment, and you will know because you'll feel more comfortable as you're lying there. So I want you to have that available, and you can lie on the floor on a pad. It can be a thick pad. It can be a couple of yoga mats. It can be the rug if that feels okay. But I would like to make sure that it is comfortable enough and soft enough because you'll be on your side and you may feel that at your hips a little there. So on the side, actually, the side of your pelvis. So I want it to be as comfortable as possible because, of course, as a ground rule, especially with somatic education, we don't want to do anything that is uncomfortable, that if you may have some pain, but yet you don't make something hurt more, you don't bring the pain out more. That helps us learn about pain, and that's not something we want to learn about because our brain and our host selves are involved in everything we do. So we do want to be aware of that. So with that being said, let's begin in standing to feel ourselves in standing. So in standing, where we are, vertical in gravity, gravity is always there. We don't see it, but of course we feel it. We experience it as our weight. And now only your feet basically are in contact with the floor. If you need something in front of you, like a chair to kind of rest your fingers on, you can do that. Or not if you're comfortable without it, or if you use a walker or anything that you usually use to help you stand, you go ahead and have that with you now to help you feel comfortable in standing. So there you are, looking straight ahead. And by that, I mean, basically at your horizon. I wish, maybe you have a view of the ocean meeting the land, but even if you don't, it's just straight ahead from where your eyes are placed at your head so that you're not looking down at this device. You can look just directly ahead of you, either out a window or something in the room. And that can help you feel yourself in standing. And then your feet, of course, they touch the floor. How do they make contact? Do you have the weight go more toward the front or toward the back, toward the inside, the outside? We can have differences on each foot, even how they touch. Let's kind of check that out a little bit. Can you shift the weight to go a little bit to one leg? And we'll do this little movement at the end so that your weight, almost like your head, is sort of placed on top. I think of it as being placed on top of your ankle, not literally, but you're just stacked a little bit over that leg. And notice, is this where you feel the most comfortable? Do you feel extra work in your leg or in your back or your head? And then could you shift your weight, do a little to the other leg and the other foot? Or is this the one that's a little more comfortable? Or is it just that they're different? Maybe the way the foot makes contact on the floor is different. It's different for each person, actually. We have differences left and right, and that's a normal part of being alive, of being human. And then gently come back to the middle and check how you feel your arms hanging down and how your head feels it's resting on top of your spine. I hear often about working with posture. Someone will say, I'm working with my posture. And we're going to do something that's in a way to really be helpful with your posture without any force. Those are some of the concepts behind our somatic movement method of Feldenkrais and this somatic movement experience. And force is just not the way that we really improve and that we learn. And learning happens deep inside us. That's what makes it somatic. So with that being said, you've felt yourself a bit in standing. Let's do what I say often are the 3 magic words. Please lie down. So take your time. You can use a chair or furniture if it helps you go down, or even lying on a bed is all right. And if you would like to have something folded flat under your head, go right ahead. You can do that. And that might just give you a little support. You see what feels better to you. You may only need it when you're on the side. So you decide what's best for you. It's on your back. It's that your face is like more or less parallel with the ceiling. Or that just there's comfort in your breathing and your ease through your neck. And now your contact is more completely on the floor. It's not just your feet. You're lying horizontally. So take the moment to notice how you're allowing the floor to support you, as if it were coming up to support you under your head, behind your shoulders, your arms, different parts of your back. Which parts of your back seem to go down? Which parts seem to just lift up a little? We carry the posture we have in standing with us to lying down because the habits stay with us. So it's like a kinesthetic mirror to ourself in standing. And we're going to explore something with our own sensing and gentle movement rather than the idea of working on posture where we feel like we're pushing this part or pushing that part, because very often we end up robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you know that expression. It's the idea is you push one part and then something else doesn't feel good. We're going to see if we can help it all integrate together and help yourself find your body wisdom to feel better. Feel how your left leg is making contact at the thigh, the calf, the heel, and then your right leg, the back of the thigh and the calf and the heel. Are there differences between the two legs? Does one feel longer than the other? It's not that it really is longer, but that's an image we have, a body image that we carry in our brain and our motor cortex to help us know how to move and what we are moving. And that can change. That's an incredible, beautiful flexibility that we have. As Feldenkrais said, that we're not looking for flexible bodies, we're looking for flexible brains. So let's see if that image can change and that improves your movement and how you sense yourself and move in the world. Notice at your shoulders if there's a difference between left and right. And gently roll your head just that little bit, as if it was a heavy bowling ball and it just wants to fall a little bit, not as far as you can, but that slightest bit so that you're able to quiet your system enough to notice and all the input so you can notice, is one side a little easier than the other? To notice things, we have to quiet the system, quiet the stimulation. That's right. Just like we would be hard to notice a candle outside on a bright day, the flame, the light, but inside in a dark room, it gives quite a bit of light. That's it. And then let your head rest in the middle. And I'll have you choose a side. Perhaps if you were involved in the lesson that we just had previously, you maybe you'd be curious to do the other side. It's not to balance them, but it's just to do a different experience. Or if that's better for you, it could be the same side. Either way is fine. So I want you to use the side you're most comfortable on. Or also notice if you have a side that, wow, if I lay on that shoulder or that hip, it doesn't feel well. So you now choose a side that can be best for you. And this is your opportunity to take, if you have the towel, you might fold it a bit more because you notice on your side, you need a little more support under your head, your shoulders under there. And we want you to be comfortable to the side and your spine to be supported. And could you bend your legs and have your knees stacked one up on top of the other and your feet, and your knees are bent somewhat at a 90-degree angle. It doesn't have to be exactly with your trunk. The thighs are kind of like you're sitting in a chair, but you're lying on your side. Now you feel contact along one side. And we're going to do a little bit of a different movement. Sometimes we present little puzzles here. And the way this is going to be is you're going to gently put the top hand on the floor to give you a little support. So it's in front of your chest somewhere. You might move it, decide where does it support you best so that you can move your thighs or your knees to go down and be a little bit under your pelvis so your feet are behind you, kind of like the way that a horse will kick. So your knees slide in an arc to go down. They slide away from your pelvis and you'll go, wow, I feel my pelvis moving a little bit when I do that. Yeah. What did you feel through your back and your spine as you did that? What did you notice with your head? If you're comfortable, it's as if you're going into a position where you're kneeling, but you're lying on your side. Right. And perhaps your legs, your thighs don't get really straight below your spine. That's okay. You go to where you can go. Don't go to where it feels like it could be forced. And notice what does it make what happens on the front of you? Is there any lengthening? What happens in your back? And then slowly bring the knees back to be up where they were with your thighs a little more at a 90-degree angle with your trunk. And notice, how does that change? Where did you feel that movement in your back? How did you feel an echo of it through your head? Maybe do that one more time where it goes down, gently supporting yourself, breathing, not doing anything that creates any exacerbates any pain. Even doing it in your imagination is okay. And then if you're able to stay there for a moment, can you take your underneath arm? And this might be kind of a surprise, like a little bit of a puzzle idea. And can you have the underneath arm, the arm you're lying on, reach out with the elbow somewhat straight, not hard, and just see if it can slide on the rug or the mat or the bed a little bit up toward your head. It doesn't have to go very far, just a few inches, and a little bit down. Just slide it around. What do you feel through your back as you do this movement? What do you feel at your shoulder? Can you do this gently, kind of exploring the surface? Are there times you'd like to turn the palm over to be face down and times that you would like it to be face up? Try both. You try it on the back of the hand, sliding, and then a couple of times you try it on the front. Exploring, and then the hand that's supporting you, the top arm, sometimes it gets a little in the way and you might move it around, or maybe as you come down you might slide your hand over the top of your arm and then your hands above your lower arm. We'll call them top arm and lower arm for this lesson. Yes. And then it's kind of, yeah, nice. And then bring your knees and your thighs back to be up at a somewhat 90-degree angle, like sitting in a chair. Like, that's right, but you're on your side, and be comfortable to rest on your side. Sometimes we have positions that are a little bit challenging, yet at the same time, you don't force or push yourself into it. You just treat it as, there's an idea. Let's see how much I can do of that. I want to guide you so you don't do anything unsafe, but you have a chance to just explore the movement and rest on your side. During the pause, it's a chance to recuperate, a chance to let everything process that you've been doing. You know, like kids in school, when they're studying all this math and reading and science, where a lot of that learning happens is out on the playground, because they took in all this information and then they go out and play and let go. And in the background, their brain and their entire system is processing what they learned. So a pause is important for many reasons. And several reasons. One is so that you can reflect on what you've done without even exactly thinking about it hard. You kind of let go and let it work in the background. It's nice. Let your brain work in the background. It's better than the best computer. I don't even like comparing it to a computer because we're so much more advanced than that. Yeah. And you're resting. And now, if you're comfortable, could you have your thighs go down again so that your knees are below your pelvis and your spine is in, and your upper legs are somewhat in alignment, and your feet, you'll find, will be a little behind you. And you probably felt how that turns your pelvis for that to happen. Your pelvis is that big bone we have in the middle there on either side. It's almost like there's like a sort of an imaginary fulcrum or axis that goes across. If you feel on your side where that big bone is on the side with your top hand on the side of your hip, that's called the greater trochanter. And that, going all the way through to the other side, it works like a kind of fulcrum for the pelvis to turn around. And that's what you were doing as you move your legs and your pelvis in this way. Yeah, and then you come back and you notice what it's like to be in that position. Come back, thighs more at 90-degree angles with your trunk, and rest with them on the side, playing with a little movement. And if you're comfortable, could you do that one more time where your thighs go down, your knees go down below your thighs in line with your body, your feet a little behind you. Reminds me of the way a horse kicks, when it goes behind. And then now, could you slide your bottom arm and slide it a little bit up towards your face, just a little bit if you can. Maybe if you're lying on something, you might want to push it a little behind you so the front edge is near your cheek or your nose, and it's a little bit higher there. But you don't go higher than your shoulder is comfortable. You'll hear the message. That's good. You stop before you get to that point that's your limit, and you rest there. And then, leaving your arm there, could you bring your head to be a little bit closer to your arm? Maybe you can lay your cheek on your arm. If not, you don't have to, but you go a little closer. And then you move your head back to where it was, and your hand supporting you on the side can help you. Yeah, that's it. And then the head returns to its original spot there on your cushion. And so we're moving now our head and our upper trunk a little bit in relation to our arm. And then leave your head in its original position and slide your arm down to be towards your side. It might have to go under that top hand that's resting on the floor. And then if you bend your elbow, I want to present this little puzzle to you. You bend your elbow, and can you just do this little beginning of thinking about how would you tuck your elbow of the bottom arm under your waist? You don't have to get there. You just kind of begin, and then you bring it out. So I presented a puzzle. So go real easy and breathing, because when we're presented a puzzle in a Feldenkrais lesson, and this, you don't need to force anything. Let it sit. Like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Can you view it without judgment and think about, how do I do that? How do you do that? I mean, without lifting your entire trunk up, off the ground. What part could lift with your head still on the ground in order to just begin to tuck the elbow? Are there ribs that lift up at all to make a little space there, like a cubby hole, like a rabbit wanted to sneak through that little opening there? You just kind of go back and forth, bring the arm out, and then start to tuck it in and feel, what do you do? What do the ribs on the top side, do they get more spaced apart and open, or do they get smaller as you begin to tuck the arm? And the ribs on the downside toward the floor, do they tuck a little bit? Yeah. It's an interesting movement to think of moving ourselves from the middle, from where our ribs are. So I just want you to think about that idea. You don't have to go too far. You tucked it a little bit. And then now, could you just let the arm be straight again and slide it up and down? With your top hand, it might go underneath your top hand. Is that any easier to move it? Is that a surprise? Like, I didn't know my bottom arm could move when I'm lying on it. Yeah. And so now bring your legs up. You've had them down, kind of your thighs toward being, below your hips. It didn't have to be exact. Roll onto your back. We did some of those movements on one side. And you might want to adjust what's under your head to have it be a little thinner or nothing at all. Might need half as much there. Lie on your back. And then now we have a moment to time travel back to the beginning of the lesson. And how do you remember you were at the beginning of the lesson? How was your contact? Does one leg seem longer than the other? What about the different parts behind your back, behind your head? If you could lie in the sand at the beach and you could be airlifted up, what kind of mark would it leave now? Is it different than it was at the beginning? We time travel all the time thinking about, what are we going to make for dinner tonight? What happened yesterday? So you're time traveling, imagining, what was this like at the beginning? Remembering that sensation. And then it's time to close. So I'm going to invite you to either rest where you are and stay, or roll to your side, keeping the nice, long, kind of neutral spine, being safe through your spine. You can use furniture if you need help to get up. And if you can then come to standing and feel your feet on the ground. And how's that different from the beginning? And what about where your head feels in space? Like, does it feel a little easier to be supported by your spine? Did it feel heavier, more forward before? Or do you suddenly feel your chest a little wider, a little more open, without pushing, without forcing, like we talked about for the posture? Shift your weight from one side to the other and check how you feel your balance in that. And I hope you enjoyed that lesson. It's time for us to end. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. That was
You're welcome.
lovely. Yes. A
You're
lovely
welcome.
carry on from Sonja's lesson. So if anyone didn't do Sonja's
Yes.
lesson before this, go ahead and try it now, maybe. And we are still celebrating Moshe's birthday, are we not?
We are. I'm celebrating right here. It's a
Oh,
little bit clear in my glass, but it's a lovely glass.
oh, it's
There's
fancy.
clear
Oh.
water, but the glass makes the celebration.
No, I think I saw that he would be
Mhm.
121. So he's 21 again.
That's a way to think of it. I love that. Yes.
And that's the reason why we're here, the reason we've done the festival over the last couple of days. Love to hear your thoughts after that lesson. You can either type in the comments below or join us in the Movement Online Academy and share your experience there. You can actually reach out directly to Dorothy in the community and any of the presenters. So thank you again, Dorothy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a really wonderful festival. So enriching.
And it's not over yet. There are going to be some more live videos coming and a very special guest joining us. I think I'll share it here. Larry Goldfarb has said he will come in and share a little bit with us. So I'm excited about that. He's a very busy man. So we're looking at locking in an hour-long conversation with Larry, which will be exciting. So you heard it first here, people.
Wow, I'm glad that he can come. What a surprise visitor. Surprise guest. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thanks for coming.